live now.
I'm live. To an empty chair though. Are we live? Yes,
Yes.
with a delay. So we'll have to see the delay as well. How many people are there? Can you go to the YouTube video now? Just to see. And I'm there.
Right.
Except I'm frozen. No.
No, it's fine.
Right. That one's distracting, so just want to know that people are watching. Have we got a kind of way to monitor? And the comments?
Sorry.
Sorry guys, we're having a few technical problems again, but this is only the second time that we're doing a YouTube live video, and we're in the first 3 editions of the taster set, which is part of this sort of logistical testing. So please be patient with this, guys. We're about to get going. Are you watching?
Yeah,
I need to know because this isn't Zoom. I'm not sure who's there. Ah, we've got comments.
Yay.
Yay, you're all here. I'm sorry, guys. I just don't know you're there until we know the technical side is working. So apologies for that. But I'm very excited to start. We've got the 5 coffees. Have you got your 5 coffees ready? Just get grinding and get the kettle ready, but don't pour anything yet because we're going to do that all at the same time. I just need to make a bit of an announcement first, and then we'll get going. So like I said, you're happy for you to start grinding and to get the kettle ready, but let's not pour the coffee yet. First, special announcement. Have you noticed in the front here?
Let's greet
Okay.
people.
All right, let's greet people. Okay, firstly, hope you're having a wonderful Christmas. I mean, it's only the day after Christmas Day, so some of you are probably still stuffed with turkey, and everyone's just chilling out today, right? I hope nobody's at work or anything strenuous like that. We're going to have a bit of a Christmas fun day, tasting 5 quite different coffees, and I want to know what you think about them. I know what I think about them. I'll try and convey that to you, but it's very important that I find out what you think, and that at the end of the day, at the end of this session, we create collective profiles for all 5 coffees. With you, we're going to create a really exciting sort of profile for each one that will go on the website, so your contributions matter. This is going to be fun. But I've got to start with an announcement. So let me talk about our latest sponsor. They are called Cruve. I've been saying Cruve sometimes, but it's actually Cruve. And Cruve are a fantastic manufacturer of products to help elevate your coffee experience. So if you're a specialty coffee, if you're new to specialty coffee and you just feel like you're getting to know the basics, then Cruve is probably something that will come a little bit further down the line. First, you have to sort of learn about the exciting ways to grind and brew your coffee with the right kettles and with the right grinders. I think then after that, when you sort of get dug in and you accept that there's recipes to follow and precisions to be had with brewing, then Cruve comes along and it will really satisfy your cravings for an even better cup of coffee. We have these EQ glasses, this brewler, and this sifter to give away. And I'm going to talk more about the giveaway stuff at the end, but just know that to qualify for giveaways of these amazing Cruve products, you have to do one of 3 things, but some of you don't have to do the first thing. The first most important thing is to be a member of the coffee club or the taster set. If you have a taster set or a whole bag subscription, you're a member of the coffee club. So if you're watching today and you're not yet a subscriber, you have to be a subscriber to be eligible for this Cruve giveaway. The second thing we want you to do to be eligible is to complete your tasting card today. We really want you to get involved, and we can show you what a lot of fun it is to contribute towards a coffee profile. So just fill in your cards. You don't have to do all 5 coffees. I know that some of you might be registering today or signing on to the coffee club and don't yet have the 5 coffees. If you've only got 1 or 2 of the coffees, just do 1 coffee or 2, fill it in, send it in, and then take a photo and upload it, and then we'll add that to the profiles, or at least you've made a contribution with your own coffee that we feel is you on your way to being a coffee club member. And the third final thing is, I forget.
Invite a friend.
Yes, we've got the Invite a Friend scheme, which is a great way of growing the community. So use the Invite a Friend scheme. I think that's just where you put your name and your friend's email address and then forward it. Now, they don't actually have to use it yet. Hopefully they can. I mean, it'd be wonderful if they do. But we just want to see that you're getting active in our community. So community action are fill in the card, register with the Right Roads Coffee Club if you're not already a member. If you are, don't cancel and rejoin. This is just for you to join as a new member, so you are a member already. Right, I'm going to get on with it. I've talked enough about crew competition time, so
Making comments.
I can't read the comments. So yes, they're a bit far away. Hopefully Aiko can help me read the comments. I'm going to get grinding, so I want you guys to get grinding. I don't have a shop grinder right now. I'd love to have an EK43 right here. But unfortunately I've got a hand grinder. So you probably, some of you have a hand grinder as well. And it's going to take a while. So,
Let's go through the steps.
right.
first, yeah?
So I've got to explain, for those of you who are not familiar with cupping, the basic steps. It's going to take around 15 minutes before we start drinking the coffee, because we have to let it rest. We have to let it cool. So just know that we're not getting going straight away, but I will explain what you have to do. So get 5 cups. Don't have to be cupping cups like this. They can be any sort of cups you can find, as long as you can fit the same amount of coffee in each one. So get your 5 cups, 12 grams of coffee to 200 water is what we're doing. So grab your scales and measure out 12 grams of coffee. So 12 times, put a cup, put 12 grams in, and that's it. Just make sure it's even. It doesn't have to be 12 actually. Just make sure that it's the same across all. 5 grams of each, 10 grams of each, or 20 grams of each. It's really up to you. And then, if you've got 12, then fill it with roughly a mug's water if you don't have scales, but that's 200 ml of water. And that, on a cupping bowl, is just before the top. So it's relatively easy with cupping bowls and fairly easy with scales. So just weigh out 12, 200, then you're going to grind 5 times, and then you get your kettle.
What clicks?
Ah, yes, good point. On the Comandante, we're doing 26 clicks. That's a medium grind. Keep it as medium as possible. Not too fine, not too coarse. Right down the middle.
Finer than normal medium, yeah?
Really? 26? I'm sorry. 26 is slightly finer than normal medium. And those are the clicks on the Comandante. And then when you've ground your coffee, pour 200 in each. And if you feel like, oh, I haven't got much water left, stop before the last. Don't fill half. Just wait, refill the kettle, and then fill up the one at the end, or the ones that you have left to fill. A half full, and then a refill, a reheat of the kettle, and then a fill won't count because you've got water that's already getting colder. So don't try and do all of them at once if you can't. We'll do it together. Any questions, just hit me on the screen there. There's only like a 10-second delay, but I will get the question. So I'm going to get grinding, yeah? Is that everything? Once we pour, there is waiting times. And then there's spooning and cleaning the coffee. Sorry, I forget that part. So when you've poured, you're going to wait 4 minutes. Then you're going to scoop out the coffee from the surface. We can do that together. That's with 2 spoons. Then you're going to wait again. And then you're just going to wait for the coffee to cool down. Another 10 minutes. Then at the 10-minute mark, grab your spoon, grab your little bit of water, and start spooning and cupping and slurping. And there it is. Any questions before I get grinding? Because it's very hard for me to talk and grind at the same time. Feel free to ask questions. But I'm going to pour coffee number 1 into the grinder now.
What temperature should the water be?
The water can be boiled. So we're waiting for it to cool. Feel free to just boil a kettle. Some people like to brew their coffees off boil. I think for today's purposes, it's really just about grind, pour, sit back and wait. There's no filtering going on. So just boil the kettle. That'll be fine. And let's get going. Everyone ready? Coffee number 1 into the grinder. I've already pre-measured, so I have my 12, 12, 12 already in the cups. I like to set things up like that, and I recommend that you do that. You just get the bags ready, and the coffee's ready, and the measures ready, and then we can all together. In the future, I won't be explaining every time at the beginning, because I know as the community grows that we're going to have more sophisticated ways to do this. But for now, I'm happy to explain everything to you guys. Right, so I'm grinding manually. That'll mean that I'm one of the slowest. If anybody's grinding with an electric grinder, sorry, you'll have to just wait till I'm ready. Okay. Coffee number 1. Vertical coffee roasters. What do we call coffee number 1? Is it jingle something? Jingle Origin. Jingle Origin coffee. Okay. I'm going to get pretty good at this grinding by the end of today. Okay. I hope you're all grinding at the same time. Then we're at pace. Oh, one's rattling in there. Got it. Right. That's the first. Okay. So just pour the dry coffee into the cup. And then just make sure there's no coffee grounds in the grinder. I know some of you have got these very fancy tools for removing with air, pardon me, the coffee grounds, but I don't have one of those yet.
Okay. I can clean.
Oh, thank you. Great. A brush helps as well, I find. Any questions in the meantime? I should bring the questions up, I think, on the screen here, because they're a pop-out, but I wouldn't mind seeing any comments and questions, so I don't feel so alone. Okay. Coffee number 2. Yes, I'm going to try not to get these mixed up. That's going to be very important as well. So coffee number 2 into the hopper.
Specialty Power is here. Jonathan is
Ah, fantastic. Specialty Pal. Maudie and Spotty. We've got fantastic influencers and people, coffee lovers joining us. So if you have questions about coffee making, ask away. And I'd love it if you guys could help out and feed comments back, because I'm not able to monitor all of the comments. So I'm relying on Val from Specialty Pal and Maudie. If Spotty's taking a nap and you've got time, maybe type some comments for me. Okay. Lasse's here. Oh, fantastic. So good to see you all. Okay. Right. Just grinding coffee number 2 now. What was the nickname we had for coffee number 2? Pining for you. Pine, like pine needles. Clever name, I thought. Okay. Always one bean that gets caught in there. And if you hear it rattling, top tip with a Comandante, little tap, and that seems to dislodge it. Right. There we go. So that's number 2. Pining for you. Holla Coffee Roasters. There.
What kind of coffees do we try today?
Number 3. Number 3's nickname?
Oh. The nickname is... Oh, wait, there's more.
Yes. This one is by Manifesto, and it's called Eritoy. And we call it, but wait, there's myrrh instead of this more. I thought that was quite clever as well. There isn't actually myrrh in this coffee, so I didn't want to imply there was. But myrrh is a kind of spice, and this coffee has got interesting spice notes, so I felt it was appropriate.
Lisa Hans is asking, what kind of coffees do we try today?
What kind of coffees? We're trying 5 coffees that we picked from 5 different European roasters, they're all roasting light roasted coffee. So if you're wondering if it's light roasted coffee, it's light roasted. Specialty coffee, high scoring beans, all of them 80 something plus beans. So we're talking about premium coffee, and they're from different origins, seasonal. So right now we have 2 Colombian coffees, 1 Ethiopian coffee, and I forget where the other 2 are from. We've got 2 Colombian and Ethiopian, and where are the other 2 from?
And Timor.
Timor and Kenya. So we've got Kenya, Timor, 2 Colombian and Ethiopia this time. Next time, who knows? Different origins, different seasons. Okay.
I tried number 1. So.
Yes, Val, I know, has been going crazy for number 1 already. She's tasting a lot of florals in the Ethiopian. That's really good, Val. Okay. And it's gone silent again. That's coffee number 3. I can't wait to get an electric grinder.
But Albert says you're a perfect coffee grinder so fast.
It's not too fast. I've seen, with the Comandante at festivals, they usually show you, they usually let you have a go as to see how fast you can grind it. And people have done it in like 10 seconds or something. It's quite crazy. It's a good way to demo, I think, though, the durability of the Comandante grinder. So just by going really fast, doesn't seem to do anything to the mechanics. Should we give it a go? Okay, time me. Here fast! Ah! Okay, nearly there. How many seconds is that? I think my arm's going to fall off.
I wish I could do that sound.
The faster I go, though, the slower it seems. That's it. How long was that?
1 minute.
1 minute. I'm rubbish. There we go. Okay, so that's number 4, Gariffi. Woo! I can already smell the craziness coming from that coffee. Okay.
Mr. Han still again asks, do you tell us which coffee is in which cup?
Yes, just put numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a cups that you row and put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the labels are there. But then as we drink them, I'm going to go through them. We're going to discuss them. I'm not going to leave any coffee unturned, so to speak. You're going to really, hopefully, get inside the flavors of each coffee. And be specific if you have questions about any one of the coffees. I really don't want to feel that I haven't covered what people want. So definitely give me feedback on that.
Specialty Power asks, which part of the world are the roasters from?
Which part of the world are the roasters from? Okay, well, as soon as I finish grinding, I'll tell you. Okay, this is the 5th coffee now, so I'm nearly ready. If you're still grinding, guys, I'm on number 5. Okay. Nearly there. Where are the coffees from? The roasters from? So the first one, number 1 is Switzerland. Number 2, Hola is Spain. Number 3, Manifesto is Scotland. Perth, small town near Edinburgh, I think. And number 4, Gariffi, Slovakia. Bratislava, the capital of Slovakia. And number 5, DAC, the Netherlands, Amsterdam. There it is. Right.
Modi says number 4 is crazy. The smell of it.
The number 4 is really crazy, isn't it? As soon as you grind it, woo! It's like, oh, you've released into the air something nutty. Okay, so I want to talk about the coffees when they're brewed though now. So, well, actually, you can smell it ground. This is a good way to sort of enjoy the coffee. Give it a little tap to flatten the bed of coffee. And just take in the aroma of all 5. Oh man, number 5 jumps out.
LJ Scott said
Ooh.
loved number 4.
Yeah, I love going from number 4's sort of pungent smell straight to that kind of soothing, soft, warm smell of number 5. So that's a great thing. It's a sniff, 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 all that kind of thing. We're going to bounce through them. First time I did this, I know I started talking about number 1 so much. Number 4 and number 3, they were getting cold. So I can't do that. The idea is that you fire through them. Right.
Scott did the cupping yesterday and he enjoyed the most. Number 4.
Someone's already done a cupping yesterday? That's fantastic. So you're doing 2 cuppings basically. Right. Let's pour the water now.
I'm
So
going to start the time.
So
just a
get
moment.
ready, the timer, get your timer ready, that's very important. And now, get your kettles ready. I can see in my mind you've all got your kettles, this is great. Here we go.
Okay.
Bring the
4
timer
minutes.
in, here we go. Starting the timer, and I'm pouring. It's not going to be too fast, because it's not a normal kettle. But I'll try my best.
From number 5.
I started on number 5, that's a mistake. But it doesn't matter. They're all going to get equal treatment. Right. Next. I don't think there's not going to be enough water even for 3, I think. Is there?
What?
Maybe. I think there is. I'll risk it. But just
no.
3. Just so you know, I don't feel like comfortable doing any more than that with the fellow's kettle. There's just going to be enough for 3. There we go. Right,
Okay.
perfect.
We are going to refill.
So we're going to refill. And any more questions? Let's talk coffee. So,
Let's talk about taster set.
so the taster set this month, number 2, is a Christmas edition. So we've got all the kind of Christmassy theme around it. It doesn't mean we pick coffees with Christmas flavors. It just means that we are decorating the whole experience with Christmassiness. And that's going to be the same for the next edition. The first thing I do when I choose the coffees is I consider, is this coffee amazing? Is this coffee singular? And will it work well as part of a sort of group of coffees? How will this coffee taste in context with another coffee? I could be tasting 3 fantastic coffees that all have quite similar experiences or flavors, and I wouldn't want to put all 3 in the set simply because I want you to see what wondrous variety there is out there. So do let me know if there are coffees in the set that are doubling up almost. Maybe 1 tastes a lot like 5, maybe 3 tastes a lot like 2, or whatever it is. Did you feel that you get a wide enough experience from 5 coffees? That kind of thing. It's going to be very important to us moving forward. Feedback now is really going to affect everything ahead. The first 3 editions of this Taster Set Coffee Club experience is about us learning from you, shaping it, and then from edition 4 onwards, well, it's not etched in stone, but it's going to be much more in streamlined according to a system. Right now we're in flux.
Okay, question. What temperature of the water?
What temperature? Boil the water. In a cupping session, you don't have to be so accurate with water temperatures. Cupping is about really experiencing the coffee without too much interference. And it's a sensory class. So don't think of it as I'm brewing a coffee, I've got to be really careful about this recipe, and then I'm going to sit back and drink the coffee like I would normally. You're in work mode now, so the work way that you brew the coffee, it's going to be much more pragmatic and blunt. So boil the water, pour the water, scoop it out. That's the process. Whereas when you brew a normal coffee, it's a filter paper, it's a recipe, it scales, it's very careful, it's very precise, precision. Not like that right here. The precision that's going to go on is in your mind and your mouth when you taste the coffee, not in the brewing part.
It fixes your head.
Sorry. Right. The hat's driving me mad. I may take off the hat in a while.
Jonathan says, doing all the grinding with the Comandante I won with the giveaway. Thank you.
Ah, Jonathan's got his Comandante grinder. Fantastic. So good to hear. And are you not experiencing much more even brews, Jonathan? Are you not seeing now that with a great grinder like the Comandante, there aren't so many dust particles? So when you brew your coffee, now you get it at the right time. When people say your brew time should be 2.5 minutes, it's not 5 minutes anymore. And the reason for that is the grinder. It really, really helps with the brews. Now the water won't sit and oversaturate the coffee because the fines themselves are the ones causing that problem. Comandante grinder, less fines, faster brew, yummy coffee.
Okay, these 3 coffees are ready. 4
Ah,
minutes.
those 3. So, because I've only done 3 and I've still got to pour more, I will now focus on scooping. That is important. The 10-minute wait between these 2 won't be so important. So, here we go.
So break the crust.
Break the crust. Yeah, let's break and sniff.
Stir 3 times.
Well, can I pour? Because that's ready now.
Okay.
So I'm just going to pour. Oh, here we go. Right, I'm pouring 4 and 5 now. It doesn't matter if you've already poured it. We'll all hit the same point in a few minutes. Okay.
LJ Scott said he started with kettle and then changed it to normal kettle.
Oh, I see. There you go. You've got a normal kettle. I don't have a normal kettle, and therefore I'm just going to have to pour slower. But that's all you need, I think, for a cupping session is a normal kettle, because it really just doesn't need that precise brewing right now, and it's faster to just use a normal kettle. So excellent decision that. This is not for drinking water, so I'm now going to scoop the surface only. If this is the cup, don't go digging the spoon all the way down.
So you're gonna
I'm going to break with the back of the spoon,
yeah,
and I'm going to let the vapors go up, because right now the grounds are trapping it. So break, smell, and then scoop. Here we go. So number 5. Well, it's just a very gentle aroma. Yeah, okay. I understand now. It's just and I'm not expecting much. I just want to learn. Where am I putting this?
Yeah, this goes there.
this one here,
Rinse it here.
rinse it there.
So this stirring action gets the coffee grind sink.
That's right. So, one more time. Stir, let a lot of the coffee ground sink, she's right, and then scoop the rest off the surface. Number 4, here we go. Wow. Is anyone else getting that crazy pungentness from number 4? Wee you! The surprise is in the taste though, because that smell suggests you're in for something crazy. But the truth is, I don't think it's as crazy a taste as it smells. I want to know what you guys think. Okay, so I've done number 3.
Rinse the spoon.
Yep, rinse the spoon. Okay, break. Okay, that's Manifesto. So Timor, not as pungent. Very earthy smell compared to number 5 as well. Oops, sorry. I'm not great at this spoon thing. I don't think this is a hugely important skill in life, but do practice if you feel that you're not confident at this, because it is important not to be spooning little bits of coffee when you drink it. Okay. And then I'm going to leave number 1 and 2 for another how long?
1 minute.
1 minute. So these two are now cooling, and then at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if this one cools a little bit more than this, but it's okay, you know. Hopefully there's not much time difference. Right.
Okay. Jonathan said much easier, much more fineness in it for the comandante.
Right, there you go. And just so you know, for a lot of people, they don't have the fancy grinders. Well, we'll talk about Cruve, because Cruve is a great product. The sifter is a great product for, after the fact, removing fines. Good grinder can remove the fines before. A Cruve sifter can help you control the grind size afterwards. Very useful, that. So you get this wonderful kind of product in these 3 different trays, and they have this sifting ability. So think of it like when the tin pot people were looking for gold, you know, on the side of the water. It's that sort of thing. You're separating. And what I really love about the 2-tray system is that the fine stuff that gets sifted down doesn't have to get thrown away. It gets collected in another tray, and then you can choose the grind settings, because these little things pop out and you've got different levels. It's amazing. Right, is that timer ready for scoop? Okay. Right. So, break the surface on number 2.
That's Kenyan. Yasaisi.
Wow, interesting. Does smell different. A lot more fruitier smell, the Kenyan. Not so strong. I think aromas, for me, they're not such a great indicator of what I'm going to taste in the cupping session. Okay. Unless it's number 4, Gariffi, of course. That one is particularly pungent.
Brew Less Ordinary is loving a new cupping spoon.
Yes! Brew Less Ordinary. So you have the slurpometer. Okay. It's a little bit flatter than I would have liked, but hopefully version 2 that we bring out is going to be even more precise slurpometer. Okay. Scoop and rinse, and one more time. Oh, I forgot to smell number 1. Now, I do this a lot. I'm sorry, guys. If I was cupping this just at somebody else's cupping session, I'd probably remember to do all the necessaries. Oh, this one's very gentle, though. Vertical's aroma. I did manage to get it. I think as long as it's still hot, breaking the surface part, you could still smell, you could still get the aroma even after you've broken the surface while it's still hot. It's just emanating vapors. It's just that first one when you break the crust, I'm sure, is the best. That first release of the vapors. Right, they're all cooling now. All surfaces are clean. Coffee is sunk to the bottom. Just let it sit for a bit more. Okay.
So it should be 10 minutes steep, but the first 3 was already steeping for a while, so 3 minutes to go.
Was it not these 3 steeping for a while? I went from number 5.
Yep.
So is it okay to go at once, all at the same time, or should I still stagger it?
I see. You want to start from number 1.
I do.
Okay. Then I'm gonna make it a bit longer.
How much longer do we have?
Um,
And I would love to have Christmas music, by the way, today, guys, but unfortunately, as soon as I plug the microphone in, I lose the ambient sound. So technology will have to improve for us to create an even more atmospheric cupping environment. Okay, so get your tasting cards ready, get your pens ready.
David says.
David? As in David Lee?
I don't know. David.
Hopefully that's David Lee. Yes, David?
Idea for the next edition, try to get the same or similar coffee and focus on roasting profile, US, UK, Nordic style, etc.
Wow,
It would
that's
be
a...
interesting, but you would need some US based roaster involved.
Exactly. We can't really do that because we're focused on the European market right now. I mean, the customers can come from all over the world, but the roasters that we are focused on and our marketplace represents is Europe-wide. I think to open up to these new territories, it's a massive task, but it's coming in the future. I mean, the aim is for us to be a global representative of the global market, because we all know that when it comes to specialty coffee, it's a global community, and we want to try coffees from Americas and Asia as well as Europe. So really hope to do that one day. David, hugely ambitious idea, coming soon, I hope.
But everybody likes it.
Great.
Mr. Hans likes it. Hans.
Mr. Hans. Mr. Hans or H-A-N-Z?
H-A-N-N-E-S.
Ah, Hannes. Sorry, I thought it was Mr. Hands, like your hands. Okay. Are we ready?
No.
I need to try coffee. Okay. Well, any questions about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 specifically, do ask. Just say, I have a question about number 1, or I have a question about number 3. This is a tough time, guys, I know, waiting to drink the coffees. But put on a TV or something, or watch Moonraker. It's Christmas, Boxing Day, traditional things like that. But just don't drink your coffee too soon. That's what matters.
Why don't we talk about coffees then?
Okay, so I can't wait to try number 1, because for me, that has the typical, beautiful Ethiopian flavors that I love. So number 1, I have to say I picked because it so classically represents the gorgeousness that is Ethiopia. Honey notes, floral notes, and always that kind of strange warm center, like a kind of caramelly, tobacco-y, something like that. But I often get that, and this coffee exhibits that perfectly. Number 2, Hola, a Kenyan coffee, but not an ordinary Kenyan coffee. It's not got those kind of blushed tomatoey notes or fruity kind of berries, that sort of stuff. This one went a different way. A sort of ice cream, cocoa-y, little bit pine kind of flavor notes in the finish, but unusualness for a Kenyan, and beautiful. Number 3, Manifesto. An entirely different experience because Timor, for me, was still a new origin and my taste buds are just getting used to it. But this one really exhibited something great because it had all these unusual balances between earthy notes and spices and things like that, but not exhibiting them in a wild way. So really, really interesting one. Another super interesting one is this Natural Colombian by Gorifi. Gorifi coffee roasters, they to me, have just blown me away with this because it's something so unique when you have pungentness and, I don't know, wild orange sort of smells and all these retro tastes. And then when you're actually sipping it, you realize it's not that wild an experience. And it was just individual elements that were pretty crazy, but together they work. And number 5, another Colombian, DAC coffee roasters. We love what they do because they have such delicate coffees. And this one had this just wonderful kind of balance between floral, fruity, and sweet. And I really wasn't sure which, because depending on the way you brew it, will be the way this coffee goes. It's wonderful refinement. So, are we ready now?
Nearly.
Nearly. Okay. Those are the 5 coffees. Right. I think I should start.
No.
I really want to start. Right, well, I'll get my pen ready. So what I'm going to do first is aroma. I'm going to go through it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times quickly. And I'm going to go aroma, 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 mouthfeel, 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 acidity, body, and finish. And when I score, I'm going to go like mouthfeel. And if the mouthfeel is really like cloudy and muddy or whatever, or I'm just not able to break apart the flavor notes or just the feeling. Remember, it's mouth feel. So just go with what it's feeling. And if it's feeling pretty full, go to the right. If it's very, very clean, go to the left, and somewhere in between. Body. Body again is a feeling. So just go with your instincts. Put a little X somewhere on that scale. Less is on the right, more is on the left, more is on the right. And the finish. Just when you're tasting it, stop and just go with your instincts. How long is it carrying afterwards? The length of it is what you put. Not the quality of the finish, but the length. Okay? So, here we go. I'm ready. Get your spoons ready. I'm tasting number 1, and then I'm going to fly through them. Not going to make the same mistake as before. Aroma. Here we go.
Let's ask people to post message when they taste something.
Right.
Yeah.
We're doing number 1. So when you taste, put the flavor notes down on your, type them up, and then we can start talking about them. Okay. So number 1. Oh, touch my nose on it. The aroma. I remember from breaking them, so I'm going to do it again. So the aroma for number 1 was in the middle. The aroma for number 2, holla was also there. The aroma for I think was very subtle, and for number 4 very strong, and for number 5 somewhere over there. So I've already scored the aroma because I remember from before. I'm now going to taste, but I'm only going to consider the mouth feel. Okay, this is an instinctive thing. Just go with your first reaction. Sometimes the first second tells you everything you need to know, and the rest is just confirmation. Okay. And dip. Okay. Wow. Wow. That is the cleanest coffee. There we go. Number 2. Okay. Okay. Yep, that's also very clean. Very clean. Maybe not quite as clean as number 3. I mean, as number 1. Sorry, the vertical. Okay. Wow. Eritoi is really interesting. Eritoi is almost like food. Really, really unusual coffee. I feel like I've just taken a bite of something. Wow. Come on, guys. You must find number 3 really interesting. What a mouthfeel. I'm going to put that as cloudy but good, in a good way. Okay, number 4. We've got, what is it again? Gariffi. Uh-oh, here we go. Oh, that's so good. It's not ever as alcoholic or boozy as you think it is. The smell suggests one thing. The taste is something else completely. A wonderful surprise, number 4. Okay, DAC. Ooh, okay, not quite as clean as I thought it might go, but it's definitely towards the end there. I'm going to try number 4 again, because number 4 it's really clean. It's like glass. I love how clean number 4 is. It's just as clean as number 1. As far as I'm concerned, 1 and 4 are like really, really clear. Okay, let's go again. And now with the acidity. Okay, rinse. Okay, and number 1, acidity only. Such a gentle acidity. Can't tell you. It's practically non-existent in my mind, but that doesn't matter. I mean, it's a washed Ethiopian coffee from super high altitudes. You'd expect this kind of to have like that really crisp taste that you get from high altitude coffees. Think about it. The acidity must be coming from the sugars turning to acid. So there's such low acidity here, and I'm surprised, but it absolutely works. So number 2 is hola. Ooh. I would say that's right in the middle. Brrr. Bullseye. They nailed the amount of acidity in number 2. It's got a lot because, again, Kenya, like Ethiopia, high altitudes. But normally, I guess, Kenyan coffees, if they've got the berry tastes and the other fruit flavors, that all contributes to high acidity. Here, with the sort of other flavor notes that I'm not going to give away, they weren't on there, any kind of fruit notes. For me, the acidity is just right. It is quite high, but it isn't too high. Okay, number 3, Erythoi. I fully expect this one to be very, very low acidity. It is, but I would say it's equal to Vertical. So we're talking about Wibeti by Vertical and Manifesto having very similar acidity levels, even though you've got this Timor coffee here, which was, let me see, well, it's a washed coffee as well, and a hybrid Typica, and Wibeti is a heirloom variety. So 1800 to 1900 meters for that. Similar, 1790 to 1900 meters. So similar altitude, similar acidity. Okay, just trying to learn here. Okay, Griffey. Acidity, again, quite low. Quite low for a Colombian coffee and for the pungentness.
David.
Oh, no, actually, it's not completely. You think it is because, I don't know, those oranges and the clarity make you feel like maybe it's not going to bite and then just gets you at the end. I think that it's like an acidity that sort of goes whip just at the finish. So quite high, but not aggressive. I would say then maybe I would stick that in the middle, but slightly to the right of the middle.
David comments, Timor was V60, tasted very good. Sweet, but in cupping it was very earthy with tobacco notes.
Right. I'm getting that earthiness as well, David.
And David said also,
but it's a really pleasant earthiness, I have to say. There's something really cake-like and pleasant in that earthiness. Are you getting that as well? Let me just sip number 5 and do the acidity. Then I've done the acidity across all 5. Is that a high acidity or is that a gentle one? How do you guys feel about number 5? I would say it's a very gentle one. All 5 coffees are not really acidic coffees. I would sometimes have probably 1 or 2 in there that have quite high acidity on them. But I have to say all 5 of these are not wildly acidic coffees. Maybe that's something I'll consider for next time. How crazy are you about acid? Are people like, some people have a real taste for it, but I know in the Mediterranean, people don't really like the acidic coffees and it takes a while to get used to. I personally, I love bite in coffee. I don't just look for acidity for no reason, but I'm quite pleasantly surprised to see that, well, some have medium acidity, some have low, none high. It's really interesting.
David also says Kenyan one was very unusual as for origin.
The Kenyan, yes, really, really unusual. For Holla, not your typical Kenyan coffee at all, is it? I mean, almost like ice cream and, well, we'll talk about it in a sec. Let me just now go through the body. Okay, here we go.
Jonathan said 5 is higher acidity for me. Highest, maybe.
5 is the highest acidity. Wow, really interesting. I put number 4 as the highest acidity because it just kind of gets you at the end. It's this little sting in the tail, you know, like when you whip, you get that little sting of acidity, and I think that reaches the highest point. If only for a second, number 4 is the highest acidity for me, but I will accept other people tasting differently. Okay, body. Here we go. Okay, silky body for number 1, absolutely perfect. I'm going to put that, the middle for me is the perfect amount of body. So if you're looking for what's just right, right down the middle. And number 1 has got it. Number 2. Ooh. Similar, probably a bit fuller. A little bit fuller, but as long as we're in the middle region, we're doing well here. Right, number 3. Okay. Not quite as much as Holla, but again, I think this sits just a little bit left of center. So every coffee is doing its job. Number 4. Wow, maybe it's something about these flavors, but it has the least amount of body, this coffee. It's an unusual one, and maybe that light body doesn't make it the most balanced coffee, but I love it. It's off kilter, number 4. Who cares? Okay, the body in number 5. really silky. Love tasting number 5 after number 4, by the way. That is a great experience. And that's part of the cupping thing. I want you to fly through the coffees as well. Take your time on some of them. Compare sometimes 1 and 5 or 3 and 4 or 2 and 5, because otherwise you're always going to just be comparing in the same order. But I'm loving going 4 to 5. That's my favorite jump. So number 5's body, again, somewhere in the middle but slightly on the lighter side. So I would say body-wise, number 1 nails it for perfection. And the others, really good. The only one that's very light is number 4, but I don't have a problem with that. Hey, okay. Number 1, now the finish, okay? So remember, I need to drink some water now because I've got to clear my palate. Finish, very important that. Some coffees that are washed can have long finishes and natural coffees can have short. So don't think that it's always natural long, washed short. We live in strange times and coffees are getting even stranger. Okay, here we go. Number 1. That is a short finish in my view. That's just perfect for a washed and for this coffee. Okay. There we go. Should say though, I'm not saying that short is perfect and long is bad. There is no good or bad. Is it being long a pleasant experience? That's what you ask yourself. But it's not technically what you need to write. You can put your feelings afterwards. But we first want to understand the technicalities. Okay, number 2. Very similar to number 1. Very short finish. There we go. Simple as that. And again, like I said, most wash coffees will have short finishes. But let's look out for that unusual one. Maybe there's a wash that has a long finish. Maybe there's a natural that has some bizarro thing going on. Anaerobics usually have the bizarro things going on though. Okay. Eritoi. Right, now there we go. This is a washed coffee, Eritoi, but I think it has a longer finish than the others. Yeah, it's not huge long and it's not aggressive, but it just continues a bit more than a typical washed coffee. Interesting. There we go.
Made a comment.
Lasse, what do you have to say, Lasse?
For me, 4 has the fullest body of these 5.
What? Lasse, a body is how it feels in the mouth, the feeling of fullness. And are you really feeling that? My goodness. Hold on, Lasse. The body is full, really? I need other people to tell me what they think. Let's get a group consensus on this, because Lassie thinks that number 4 is the fullest, and I think it's the lightest. It's so light and airy, honestly. Iko, give me your opinion. Right. So number 4, the finish is obviously very long. I wouldn't call it the longest, because I think if the taste was like the smell, the taste would be even longer finish. But the taste of number 4 happens to be clean and bright and not as pungent as you think. There is a long finish, but it isn't so crazy long. Right. But it is a natural, I should say, not an anaerobic. Okay. And finally, number 5. Okay. Ooh, really nice, rich, sticky. So for me, slightly longer finish than number 1, 2, 3. The other washed coffees that have short finishes. This is probably similar to Eritoi. Slightly longer than short finish for a washed, but only due to a combination of flavors, just going on a bit longer. Generally quite a short finish. Right, now the fun stuff, the flavor notes. Remember, we've taken away all the flavor notes from the coffees. This is the subjectivity. Let's work it out together. I'm going to tell you what I think I taste, but ignore me if you can. Don't go there. Just try and go your own way. In fact, I want to see you put your comments up on the screen of what you're tasting, and I'll keep my mouth shut because I already know these coffees pretty well.
The conversation is going on about number 4.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Hannes.
Hans, yes.
Hans says, sorry, Lasse, not for me.
Ah, so other people are agreeing that it's a clear coffee. Maybe then you're confusing, Lasse, mouthfeel with the strength of flavors.
But David also said the lightest one is 4th. Rachel said agree with Lasse.
Rachel, you think this is the fullest? My goodness.
Mordy said, yeah, I have to agree too.
What, Mordy?
Yeah.
Mordy, come on, Mordy. Really, number 4? Explain to me why you feel that that's so full.
Loki says body-wise number 2
Is-
do it for me.
Is the fullest.
I think so.
Okay. I think number 1 and 2 are fantastic body-wise. Really, they've nailed it. Now, flavors. This is the interesting part. Remember, the colors in the middle is the flavor groups. We'll think about that at the end. But now let's just jump into the flavors and start putting them down. Okay? I need a palate cleanser again.
What do you think? Do you want to tell them what you taste, or everybody just fires?
I really want everybody to just fire out flavor notes. I may occasionally fire something out, but I'll be careful not to spoil if I know. Okay, let's see what I'm tasting.
Morty says it's probably the water makes you,
Morty, that's a really good point. Guys, the people that say that number 4 is full, what kind of water are you using? Please enlighten me. Is it filter water? Is it mineral water? And if it is mineral water, well, has it got a low calcium count or sodium count? The water is really going to affect things. Remember, 99% of your coffee isn't coffee, it's water. Okay, flavors. We've got to get on to flavors now. So, number 1, to me, it's got buttery soft honey. Always had honey. Think that was pretty obvious, but it's how much, remember? So when you put the name of, when you write down the word of the flavor you're tasting, scribble in the bar the strength of that flavor as well, because we're going to put that on our website. If a lot of you are tasting just a little bit of honey, I want to know. I want to put on the website that there's only a little bit of honey being tasted.
Morty is using peak water. Julumon says water makes a huge difference, and obviously the temperature is changing.
Yeah, temperature changes and things like that. But number 4, it sticks out. It's such a different coffee. It's this kind of very glassy, clear, bright, but I don't feel the fullness in the body. I honestly don't, guys. So it's very interesting what you're experiencing, and I wish I could sit next to you and try yours and we could debate it. So very interesting that. Okay, now I'm tasting honey, but what else am I tasting, number 1? Come on, let's pick it out. Number 1, guys. Are people firing out flavor notes?
Yeah.
Come on, flavor notes. Definitely florals. Now, don't be so specific on the florals if you can't find it. You could just write flowers. We'll work out where you're going. Be weird if you want as well. If you want to say I'm tasting rose petals dipped in caramels, that's fine. Remember, you also have a very useful flavor wheel to help you. The flavor wheel is great because you first work out the inner categories. Am I tasting fruit or sweet? Fruit. What kind of fruit? Citrus. What kind of citrus? Orange. Maybe beyond that, orange peel. That's up to you. But this is like a practice to let your brain go grouping and then specifics. Eventually, you shouldn't really need the flavor wheel. You should be able in your mind just go there. Okay.
Okay, people are
florals.
Flavors now.
Yep.
Jonathan, soft caramel on the first one.
Soft caramel, boom. Okay.
And Morty, iced with lemon. Iced tea with lemon.
Iced tea with lemon for what?
Number 1.
Iced tea with lemon. I have to say, the tea-like flavors that you get with Ethiopian coffees that I normally get in a brew with this coffee, I'm not getting in the cupping today. And I have to say, that's partly why I don't do cupping sessions to profile coffees and review them, because there is a different feeling, there is a different experience to brewing coffee this way. It's an immersion style brew that doesn't get filtered. So the oils are in there, and then I get this sort of buttery experience. To actually fully understand not just what the coffee has hidden in it, but what a customer is going to experience, I should brew it. Cupping is not going to tell me a customer experience. So when I brew this coffee, I get those tea-like iced tea things that you're talking about. Not getting it today, but that doesn't matter. Let's move on to number 2.
Wait,
What?
Rachel
Sorry.
says
Oh, we got more people.
Florals, definitely. I thought aroma was violet.
Violet, interesting. That's a really good one, Rachel. I think violet is I'm going to put that down. No, I'm not going to put that down. You put that down, and we're going to add violet to the mix. That's the point here, is that you have found violets, and then when we add that on the website, the profile, everyone watching will be able to say, wow, somebody experienced violets in that coffee. So it's very relevant, Write it down, and then we'll make that contribution. Okay, number 2. Okay, I'm tasting sweet. But what kind of sweet? Really, really weird. But I'm getting a kind of vanilla sweet now. Is anybody else getting that? Vanilla sweet. In number 2, we're talking holler now. So Gathiathi, it's a Kenya washed coffee from the Nairi region. We're talking Ruiru 11 SL28 bean varieties. And it's from 1720 meters high. And the result is a very sweet, creamy almost coffee.
Then it says chocolate mousse.
Chocolate mousse, like that. Yeah, I think I get like chocolate and vanilla ice cream for some reason. Cocoa and vanilla ice cream. So weird. I think it's the creamy mouthfeel and the sweet cocoa-ness, but honestly, it's just got other things.
That's number 3.
Oh, that's number 3. Sorry. Number 2. Okay.
Mr. Hen, I can't remember, I'm sorry.
Ooh, but when you taste number 3 and then go back to number 2, the things I'm talking about suddenly pop out. So everybody get your spoons ready. Copy me, okay? Go manifesto and then back to number 2. So sip, dip. Okay, that's manifesto. It's sort of cake-like. And then quickly go back to number 2. There. Now you pick up the sort of subtle herbs and pine-like flavors that accompany this sort of cocoa cream, whatever's going on. It's all there, right? Really unusual. I love that switch from 3 to 2. Okay.
Mr. Hen says tobacco.
Tobacco for number 2.
Number 2.
Wow, really
And
interesting.
Jonathan says cacao nibs.
Cocoa nibs, yep.
Cocoa nibs, but not in the first taste.
Right. See? So that's another thing you don't have to write it down, but you might not always pick up flavors the same as you sip them because the coffee's getting cooler, and also your palate, it's changing, it's developing as you drink. Okay, number 3, Eritoi, here we go. This one's hard, I have to say. Of all the coffees I've drunk over the last few months, picking out flavor notes from this is really hard because I think there's just so many new flavors in there. What is going on? Aiko, help me here. Sip this one. It's like, is it marzipan? Is it almonds? Something, almonds is in there. I'm going to write almonds. Is anyone else getting that kind of almonds? But then there's other weird things. It's a totally new coffee.
Clove. Some spices in it.
Yeah. Is that like, it's not nutmeg? I just don't know my spice rack. Okay, I need the tasting wheel and I'm going to check out the spices. I threw it away thinking, I don't need that. I've got it all in my head. How arrogant of me. Okay. So, spices. Now, we've got brown spice that breaks into anise, nutmeg, cinnamon and clove. I'm going to say there's a bit of clove in there. A little bit of clove. Anyone else getting the spices? You see the comments. No pepper, no pungent. Anise, I'm going to say a little bit of anise. It's sort of not licorice. Licorice is very, very particular, but it's the feeling that you get from that group of flavors that is sort of hovering around. And then in the center, it's like a cake or something, and I can't quite pin it.
Everybody says in super interesting notes.
Aren't you? Right, guys?
Morty said nuggets.
Nuggets! I love that, Morty. Wow. What else are you all getting? It's such a weird one.
Jonathan said subtle hint of rice.
A subtle hint of rice. You see, guys? Write it down, really. So this explosion of weird flavors that we put on the website is a great indicator of what's going on here. I'm just one man with one group of taste buds, but collectively with all of you, we will really discover what the coffee has hidden.
Sorry, Morty meant nutty, not nugget.
Oh, you meant nutty? Nutty is boring. Nuggets is interesting. I want you to write down nuggets, Morty. Okay. And yes, I'm spilling a lot of coffee on my card. Don't worry about that. The messier the card, the more interesting it is. Okay.
Rachel said strong tobacco.
Strong tobacco, I agree. I agree. Now, sometimes I've been a very controversial thing for me to describe coffee as having tobacco. But I don't think it's controversial. It's just if you're a non-smoker and you're repulsed by cigarettes that you immediately assume tobacco is a disgusting thing. But it isn't. Sweet tobacco is an amazing, complex smell, retro taste. I don't go around chewing tobacco, so I'm not going to suggest that tobacco tastes good. But it is a wonderfully sophisticated note. And to taste it here is to remind you of that sweet flavour, not of some Marlboro cigarette I might have smoked once.
Lassie said a bit like genmaicha.
A bit like Jaminja.
No, genmaicha, which is Japanese tea, but it's kind
Really?
yeah,
Look at you with your fancy words for Japanese teas.
it's a bit toasty kind of
Right,
tea.
right. Very interesting coffee. I can't wait to see the flavours that you guys have. As far as I'm concerned, I get something like a marzipan almond in the centre, surrounded by a bit of clove and a bit of anise, and then probably another 5 other things that my brain just doesn't understand yet. Okay,
Number 4.
number 4. Here we go. Been looking forward to this. Well, I have to admit, it's cooled down now, and some of that kind of tangy pungentness that you smell, it's increasing. This is one of those coffees that gets wilder when it cools. Some coffees calm down when they cool. Some coffees get more wild. Think of that as the story of the coffee. As soon as you've brewed it, it's like reading a book. You're turning the pages and this coffee is going to tell a story. It's going to go and each one is going to go tell a slightly different one. This one has decided to become a little bit more cuckoo as it cools.
Also, it got acidic.
That's very true. The acidity really increased. So you don't have to rescore that, but maybe add a bit more acidity. I don't know. I've already scored the acidity quite high. But really interesting, isn't it? The way that sort of acidity and wildness increased. Makes it a little bit harder actually to pick out some of the other flavour notes.
Molly is picking up exotic tropical fruits.
I am getting that. I want to go tropical, but I don't think it's tropical. I think it's more just wild oranges. For me, I get like almost like overripe orange, which I wouldn't want to eat an overripe orange, but that's what I like about coffee, is it sort of gives you the hints of fruit at different states that you wouldn't normally eat, but you can drink as a coffee because you're not really having the fruit and eating what's bad for you in a rotten fruit. But here you get an overripe orange sensation without really eating it.
Mr. Hen's dark chocolate tropical fruit.
Dark chocolate, what, in number 4?
Yep.
That's nuts. I can't believe you're getting chocolate. For me, this is so removed from anything cocoa-ish.
Rachel thinks tropical fruit wine.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand people going towards wine and booziness and craziness and tropicalness. Personally, I'm going to stay rooted in maybe boozy oranges or candied oranges with liqueur, but I don't feel there's anything remotely cocoa in there. I'm going to accept that other people pick that up. It might be contamination from other coffees, so do rinse your palate before going into it. But personally, I'm not reaching anything like cocoa.
Molly
Wow.
vanilla, and Loki says pigwa.
Lockie says what?
Pigwa.
How do you spell that?
Pigwa.
W-A, Pigwa. Lockie, please type again. Never heard of a flavour note called Pigwa before. Okay.
David says candies.
Candies. There you go, David. But are you getting the booziness of it? Are you sensing the wildness? For me, it's that long finish. I can still taste it now. And that's the interesting thing. Wow, super long finish, I would say. Probably didn't give it a long enough finish. As it cools, it's getting wilder though. Number 5. Oh, wow. What am I getting from number 5? There it is again. This, is it fruit? Is it sweet? Or is it floral? Who the hell knows? But what I'm getting is something like a delicately sort of deep caramel but not deep sort of coffee. It's not rich. It's just that one caramel note goes really down deep, and then you get this delicate floralness.
Oh,
wow.
That's ordinary is saying Pigwa is quinces.
Pigwa is quince. Ah, I've just learned that Pigwa is a quince. Thank you very much. Sorry, Lassie. So a Pigwa is a quince, and that's what you get. I'm going to accept that. Write it down. Add quince, maybe, because I don't know if people will know what a Pigwa is. Wow. Can we identify number 5, though? 5's tricky. And because I said that depending on your mood or the way you brew it, you can go different ways. Really interested to see what people are picking up on number 5. I get, what do I get? It's definitely sweet. It's like a kind of, not burnt chocolate, but it's so difficult. Try one more time. Oh, sticky caramel. Caramel all the way. How many people are getting the caramel? What else? There is a fruit in there, but it's like a raisin. Yeah, I think the fruit for me is not raisin, but what's it called? Not red berry.
Red
Currant, that's it. It's like a red currant. A gentle red currant. Boom, I got it.
But there's a floralness in it too.
See, that's what I love about flavor note identification as well. It's almost like a puzzle solving. When I reach a flavor note and I get this kind of taste confirmation in my mind, when I feel like I've nailed it, it's like I solved a riddle and I get this lovely sense of satisfaction. So training your palate to be able to reach points where you find flavor notes all on your own, it's a very wonderful experience, I think, and will make you feel that much more enjoyment for your coffee. So an enhanced coffee experience. Right, guys, it's time to do the 5 flavor groups, and we're going to categorize them as well. We didn't do that last time, so I really want to put a circle around each one that you think is what flavor group it's in.
So number 5,
Yeah.
Mr. Hans thinks jasmine.
Jasmine. Wow.
Jonathan said blossoms. Rachel said sweet caramel floral.
You see? I knew it. I'm not picking up the floral today, but they're there. And you guys are. And on another day, you might taste this red currants and the fruit. And you might think, wow, I can't believe I thought it was a floral coffee. This is clearly a fruit coffee. And then another day, you're going to taste nothing but caramels. And you're going to say, this is a sweet coffee. I can't believe it was a floral or a fruity one. So very interesting what goes on there and what Colombia can do. Because think about it, number 4 is also a Colombia. And how different is number 4 from number 5? Incredible. Right, guys, let's go through it again. So get your spoons. We're going to do one last thing, which is you're going to put an X or a circle on one of the 5 flavor groups that you think the coffee is in. Red is fruit. Pink is floral. Yellow is sweet. Brown is nutty cocoa. And that purpley red at the end is spices. Those are our 5 categories on our website. The 5 flavor groups. Basically, it's the core of our message. So let's get it right. Here we go. Number 1. Overall, that coffee is, I'm going to say that. I'm not going to tell you. This one I'm not sharing because it's going to probably influence your opinion. But I'm putting my X's on all 5 circles. Okay, not all 5, on all 5 coffees. Number 2. Yep, I know that one. Don't think too hard about it. It's just an overall category. Yep. And number 4, I definitely know. And number 5, tricky one. Put 2 categories if you're not sure. Think, or no, commit to 1. Because if you put 2, we won't know how to sort of overall that. So, and your scores at the top. Don't forget to mark your scores. I'm going to give all 5 coffees 5 stars because that's how I roll. I love all 5 coffees. But do put your scores down because, yeah, this is a very democratic thing we do. And we really want to find out which coffee has been the overall favorite by people. Last time around, if you remember in edition 1, it was White Star, number 5 coffee. It was called the Duran family, and it was an anaerobic Costa Rica, and people went gaga for it. So I'd like to know today, or in the next few days, which one of these coffee is the standout coffee. It's not a competition, just personally I'm curious. I'll keep trying to find the best coffees for you guys, and today's session I think was great. Have you all enjoyed it?
David has an idea.
David, what's your idea?
What about creating a Discord server for club members to keep in touch with you?
A
And discuss
Discord-
all coffee things.
Sorry,
I'm not sure about Discord thing, but
Discode is what?
I don't know. But
Do you
I
mean
think he
discount?
But he suggests somewhere to chat.
Well, this is stuff we're going to do in the future. We're going to build into our own website places to chat. I would love it that I could hear you guys as well. Zoom, the technology means we can do that, but there's a limited amount of people that can join a Zoom class. So this way, I would love to be able to have two-way chats. I obviously can't type anything back, but we'll monitor it and we'll improve it. Feel free to DM me on any suggestions. I'm up for talking to people about ways to improve this and grow the community in a much more efficient way. So yeah, if you guys have any feelings on how you want to be more involved and have me get more involved in your coffee lives, I'm happy to do it within reason. So yeah, just remember to upload your scorecards. That's going to be very important. And people who want Cruve, if you want to win this amazing sifter, if you want a chance to win these amazing EQ glasses, now this takes your coffee to another whole level, and that's a really fun thing to do. So Cruve are the providers of excellence in coffee. Also this is my new favorite gadget. This is called the Brewer, and it's going to be the great unifier, I hope, one day. And it's got its own way of scaling and measuring the coffee. So if you're someone that's into precision, and I know a lot of you are out there, I've seen your posts, I've seen the coffee equipment that you have around you. How can you not have one of these in your lives? So definitely enter you remember that you have to upload this, you have to do the refer a friend. You're probably already coffee club members, but if you're not, join the club, people. This is the best coffee club around. So upload your scorecard, refer a friend, and then you're good to go, and you're in the mix, and you'll be possibly getting one of these on the way to you. So thank you for joining me again today. I think it's time to wrap this up. If you have any more comments, quickly hit me now, but otherwise...
People saying thank you, the best Christmas present.
Oh guys, you're amazing. It's really, really wonderful having you join.
Lovely that you bring cupping closer to amateur coffee lovers.
Oh, well, we'll improve together, guys. So remember to ask me anything at any time. If you want me to cover certain things more next time, really great time to give us feedback. Edition 3 is going to be the beginning of Feb. So we're not monthly yet, but the last edition is coming up in this test phase. That's at the beginning of Feb, and then we're going to relaunch. And we'll have announcements to make on the relaunch as we restructure. It'll be different price point, slightly different coffees in the set, the way we do all that. Not going to talk about that now because we're still learning. But we need the feedback from you guys, and it's really going to help us move forward and structure this in a great way. Yes?
Someone asks, where can I buy the taster set?
The taster set is available on our website. If you just order it, it won't come now because this is the edition 2. Edition 3 is going to be coming out at the beginning of Feb, and then we relaunch and we go monthly. But you will, if you order now, get a discount.
Yep.
So we're offering with the code XMAS half. Any new subscriber will get that first box, not every box, but the next box you'll get, half price. 50% off, that's XMAS half. I'll post all the details, but just remember to wait for that XMAS half code to get half price off the next edition. Then you can join our club. People who are already subscribed, please don't cancel and resubscribe. This isn't a special deal like that. It's just for new people, but everyone who is subscribed, do the other things, so you get a chance to win the Cruve.
2 days only deal.
Oh yeah, the deal for the Xmas half is just for 2 days. You've gotten to the 28th. Please subscribe, guys. Join the club. We're going to keep picking amazing coffees every month for you.
The link is at the
The link is on the YouTube channel. So find the link and join the club.
Or-
And refer a friend. Because we've got to grow this thing, guys. If this thing really takes off, we're going to have so many amazing things in the future.
Rachel says 1 and 4. No, sorry. 1 and 5 were my favorites.
1 and 5 for Rachel. Fantastic. All right, hit me with your favorites then before we go. Anyone else?
Lassie says, do you put the final score based on the cupping only or the overall experience of the coffee?
We sort of put everybody's flavours individually, but some things we have to sort of squash together as an overall score. So we're not putting everybody's individual scores, but your flavour notes, all your contributions that way, they go in. Have a look at edition 1, the breakdown, if you want an idea.
I think Lassie means the scoring. 5 stars?
The scoring gets collected, so it's a collective score.
Is it for only cupping or the these from V60?
Just tell us how you feel about the coffee in general. You can do it from just the cupping if you feel that's a more accurate score. But if you felt that you really enjoyed the coffee brewing and you didn't like it as much, pardon me, drinking too much coffee. So if you find that the score would be higher from brewing than cupping, put that score down. Just put your highest score down, because your personal best experience from the coffee is what the coffee deserves to be scored as. That's all I have to say about that. Edition 2 has been fantastic. Sorry for burping on camera. And please join us again at the beginning of Feb for edition 3. Of course, before then, I'm going to do other kinds of live things. I'm going to do a Zoom class as well for edition 3. I'm also going to do spontaneous brews on Instagram. So you've got to be following us on different platforms to see me pop up in different ways. The Zoom invites will come out if you want to join us on Zoom. The YouTube link gets posted every time for our YouTube thing. And Instagram, we make announcements, but I also just spontaneously appear there to do live brewings and giveaways. We've also got some other giveaways to do with the coffees that we have from this month. I know that we've got scarves and hats and things like that to give away. So tune in again for lots of giveaway fun. Thanks for joining us again today, guys. Loved having you here, and we're going to grow this together. So make your contributions online, please. They will really help. Thanks again, guys. Hope you have a great Christmas and a new year. See you all very soon. Bye for now. It's okay.